Hey guys, Danny Johnson here, and today we're changing the rear shock absorbers on our 2021 Toyota Sequoia. Please be sure to refer to a proper repair manual. I'm just showing you the process that I went through for changing these, but I may skip something or interpret something differently. This is the Platinum, so we went with Arnott because they have a shock absorber that can plug in. It will turn it to be inactive instead of active. It'll be a passive strut now, so it will basically just make sure no lights come on the dash with this resistor, so you do lose whatever, quote, functionality that it did have going from sport mode to comfort and all that. But I have done these on the past on a Yukon, and they worked really well with no engine lights. So here's the model number that we used for this one, which again is the Platinum. If you have a non-Platinum, you may not need this one that actually has the resistor. Just a traditional strut or shock absorber may work. Please make sure you're wearing safety glasses and using all safety precautions. We're going to go ahead and get started by popping the hood, and we're going to go ahead and disconnect the negative side of the battery with a 10mm socket. So we're going to get that out of the way. As we are working with electronics, it helps. Make sure you chock the wheels. We're going to do the opposite wheel that we're working on. So we're going to chock the front driver's side because we're going to start on the rear passenger. We're going to take a 22mm socket. While the vehicle is on the ground, we're going to break these lug nuts loose. Just a quarter of a turn, just enough to loosen them so that we don't push the car off of the jack stand with this force when it's up in the air. If you do have an impact wrench, you can use that too with the wheel off the ground, but we're just going to break these loose. Now we're going to lift on the frame, so make sure you're on level ground and that wheel chock's in place. We're going to put our jack stand behind on the frame there too. And we just need a few inches of clearance here just to get the wheel off. It really doesn't have to be that high in the air, but make sure that you're flat level ground and not going to roll. So we're going to go ahead and remove the rest of the lug nuts now that we have broken loose, and remove the wheel and get it out of the way. Be careful because the brakes may be hot if you were just driving it. Now we have a bottom bolt here, and you can see how this shock absorber was blown, and then you have the top here, so we're going to be taking that off. Now if you follow this cable, that's where we're going to find our connector where the shock absorber plugs in. So we'll go ahead and disconnect that. We're under the vehicle now, so we're just going to push down on the top. There's a little tab, so as you push down on that tab, then you can disconnect this plug. So go ahead and push down and pinch it, and you can separate these two. And so this is what it looks like. That's what our resistor is going to plug into. Now, just to show you as well, on the driver's side, we're fast forwarding here. It is a little more difficult to get to, being that the gas tank and everything is on the way. So I found it easier on this side to actually take it off of the little peg that it's attached to and turn it sideways, and then do that same thing, push on the button and separate it. But it is a little tighter on that side. That's what it looks like once it's disconnected on the driver's side. Okay, so back to the passenger side. If you do want to put some pliers in here and pinch, you can save some of these clips if you don't want to break them. But in most cases, we're just going to take little snips, and we're going to actually just cut the zip ties that are holding this in. So we're going to go ahead and just snip this one here. Just make sure you're not cutting the actual wires. This is just the holders, in case we have to use these again for some reason. Okay, next we're going to bring in our new shock absorber. Make sure it's the same height and everything looks good on it. Now, very important on this next step, make sure you take your jack and slightly lift on that control arm. Don't knock the vehicle off of the jack stand, but just slightly to take some pressure off it. Then with a 17mm, we're going to take off that bottom bolt where the shock absorber is on. So it's still going to be sitting on its peg, but we're going to go ahead and just take that one out. Now, as we're moving up towards the top, we're going to be using 19mm sockets. So a 19mm socket and also a 19mm open end wrench on the other side really helped, the side that had the head. So we're turning with our wrench the nut to take the nut off first. So we're going to go ahead and remove the nut as well as the washer that's right behind it. And so get those out of the way. And now here's the trick. You really want to make sure that the jack is supporting just slightly, because that control arm will drop and it's putting pressure on this bolt. So now with that 19 millimeter and an extension, using an impact is a great way to get this to come out. And you do want to be careful that you don't strip the threads off. But as you can see, this is how it comes out. And see how that strut fell down? Because I didn't have quite enough pressure on the jack. So make sure that you lift that up just enough. And when you do it right, that bolt should fairly easily go in and out. So if it's stuck there and canted to the side, then work with the jack a little bit until it comes out evenly. Okay, then you can take your wrench that you were just using, and sometimes it helps to put it towards the head and help push that bolt out. Okay, with proper support, slightly lifting up on this, and this bolt's going to be able to just come straight out. It's not going to be bent sideways or anything, so you just want to get that just right. Okay, now we can pull the shock absorber straight towards us and then slide it off at the bottom, and the old one is out. So we're going to go ahead and replace it. So we're going to put our new one in. We're going to put it on the bottom first, and then we're going to line it up and push it straight in, and hopefully it lines up pretty even. If not, then you can use the jack to move it up and down. You can also take an extension and put it through here because it's smaller, and just kind of move it around until you get it lined up for that bolt, if that helps. Also, as you're pushing this bolt in, twist it side to side just a little bit, and that helps get it to drive in. And I am showing you both sides of the vehicle at once, so make sure that the bolt's pointed the way that you took it out each time. But we're going to go ahead and drive this one back in. We're back to the passenger side here. Put some Loctite on the end of the bolt. We have our washer and then our nut, so we're going to make sure that this is on here. And next we're going to put a little bit of Loctite as well on the bottom bolt and put it back in. Now you might want to check the torque specs where for your exact vehicle. On mine, it was something like 55 or 65 foot-pounds on the bottom and 100 at the top, which seemed pretty tight on the top. So just make sure you torque those down. It is hard to get the torque wrench up in the top one. I had to go down to my 3/8 inch one, which is a little smaller. So do your best to get a torque wrench on there, but that clicked just fine. And we're going to go ahead and lower the control arm back down. Everything looks good there. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and plug this in. So look on the top. It's going to have that little nub on the top for the safety clip to go over it. So make sure that you're lining it up properly. Don't put it in upside down and jam it in. Make sure that it's the right way, and you can slide it in. You should hear a small click as you put these together. Okay, now the zip tie portion that it comes with has a little Christmas tree, and it wants to go into the oval hole. And so on this side, there's an oval one right there that it popped right into, and then you just pull the zip tie part down until it's nice and snug. And if I installed that part wrong, I'm sorry. That's the best way that I figured that it would go. And on the passenger side, that's how it went. Okay, so we got these torqued down. Double check that they're both torqued, have some Loctite on there. Everything looks good. And we're going to go ahead and make sure that the plug looks good in there too. Make sure that it's attached all the way. Now we can bring our wheel back in. We can set this up onto the vehicle and put the lug nuts on hand tight first. Just thread them, and then we're going to torque. It was 97 to 100 foot-pounds is the rating I got for the Platinum, so double check your rating. And we're doing the star pattern, every lug nut across from it to make a star, and that's how it evenly seats. Now we can lift up slightly on our jack, remove our jack stand, make sure nothing is underneath the car, and we can go ahead and lower this back down. Remove the jack. Reattach our negative battery terminal. Tighten it down with a 10 millimeter wrench. Make sure you remove the wheel chock too that you had in the front. And now we can start the vehicle and make sure there's no lights. Everything worked out perfect on ours. So thanks for watching. Check the video description. If you're new to the channel, feel free to subscribe, and we'll catch you on the next video. Thanks, guys.